So I'm going to mix up some marinade for the meat to go in. And it's all pretty much the same stuff. Some kind of vinegar. Okay. And then after that, you can usually put in some require apple cider vinegar or whatever, and then some water. You can even put beer in with it, believe it or not. It doesn't matter, but the thing is just get this package and mixed together, and then put the meat in with it and let it sit in the fridge. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I've got a little bit of these three things in there, and I'm going to put this in here. Okay, and I just do this kind of sloppily. This is how I mixed it all together. So just put that. Okay, there's my marinade, all ready to go. And I'm going to put the meat in here. Got some top sirloin. Put it in here. Okay, now that I've got it in here, I always just try to make sure everything gets covered. And you can do it however you like. This is just a video of how I do it, not necessarily a how-to, but I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator nice and flat and let these three pieces of steak really absorb that marinade that I have. And yeah, so I put a little bit of water in there and a little bit of beer in there. So, and some of the olive oil and white vinegar. That's usually what these things call for. And next I'm going to start prepping the potatoes. I just rinsed them off real good. And now the potatoes are all clean, I wrap them in foil, get them ready for the grill. This one ready. Okay, and I'll just do that with all the potatoes that I'm going to prepare. Okay, so this is how I get the corn on the cob, or as some people incorrectly call them, roasted ears. So I put some butter on here. Getting this ready for the grill, like so. And then wrap that up nice and tight. Okay. And now that's ready for the grill. Okay, so this is my prep work for the grill. I've got the potatoes. I've got the meat marinating. This has been in the fridge. I just pulled it out of the refrigerator just to show the audience. And this is the corn on the cob, aka roast ears, ready to go. I will cook these on the grill for low for 1 hour. So what I usually do is put these on the grill, wait 30 minutes, then flip them over to the other side. And then I'll put the meat on the top rack so it starts slowly cooking. And then I'll put these on the top rack. so that they start slowly cooking. And then when there's, after about 10 more minutes of that, I'll put the meat on the lower rack, and I'll put the corn on the cob on the lower rack. The potatoes are on the lower rack the whole time. So it takes 1 hour for me to cook all of this. But like I said, these potatoes will stay on there for a full hour. This 30 minutes, this 30 minutes. Okay, so here lately, I've had a habit of spraying down the grill. I saw this in a store one time, and I'm not being promoted by them. These people have no idea I even exist, I promise you. But I've had a habit of spraying down the grill with a little bit of cooking spray. And I tell you what, it's made a difference. It's worked well for me, and so now I use it pretty much every time. But anyway, take it or leave that tip, that's fine. Okay, so I've just put the potatoes on. I have the grill at the lowest setting. And by the way, it is a beautiful day for grilling, one of my favorite things. And I'm excited about that. So I've got the potatoes on, so I'm going to close this, and I'm going to leave them on low, the absolute lowest setting. I'm going to leave them be for about 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and I am just flipping these potatoes to the other side, because remember now, I keep these potatoes on the grill for the full hour. So far it's been 30 minutes and I've cooked nothing but potatoes, and just for fun I try to put them on a different spot of the grill, and just in case the grill cooks unevenly, and I try to put them off to one side, because after about 10 minutes on that top rack, which I haven't put them on there yet, I put the meat, the corn up there. Then I'm going to move the meat and the corn down here, so I'm making room for them at the same time. Okay, so I took the meat out of the marinade. I put it at the top rack. There's the corn on the cob, or as some of you prefer, roasted ears. I got the potatoes still on the bottom rack. Okay, it's now been about 32 minutes since I've put the potatoes on, and one doesn't really need to be that precise, just roughly 30 minutes, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to let the meat start to slowly cook up there. I'm going to leave it just like this. So I'm going to leave it just like this for about 10 to 15 minutes probably. And I'm still on the lowest setting possible. So there it all is. I'm going to leave it sitting there. So I'm going to leave that alone just like that for, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. And boy, I don't mean to tease the audience, but it is a beautiful day for cooking on the grill. One of my favorite things. I have the day off work. Yeah, it's gonna be great. And just in case the audience was curious, we shampooed our carpet that's in our living room, so it's out here drying, but now it's probably gonna smell like supper time. That's all right. No complaints, it's all good. All right, so maybe if you're watching this in the winter time, maybe this will cheer you up a little bit if you're in the dead of winter. It's all good. Okay, so it's been about 12 minutes, and if you hear some panting in the background, it's my daughter's dog smelling the meat. It's not me, I promise. Okay, so I'm going to flip these. All right, oops. Okay, flip these over. Eventually I'm going to leave them on the bottom rack. Now, okay, there we go, that's good. Now I'm also going to flip the corn. Okay. There we go. And if you're following my video closely and trying to keep track of all the times that I say, and I'm not holding true exactly, it's not my fault. There's the guilty culprit right there. That's the fault right there, not mine. But, you know, when you cook it on the grill, it's pretty flexible, you know. I mean, again, this is not a how-to. This is just how I do it. So if anybody says, that guy on the internet said, no, 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 no. This is just how I do it. You can do it however you want. But anyway, so it was about 12 minutes, and I flipped the corn and the meat. And the potatoes are still on there. They've been down there the whole time. So that's the key to the whole thing. Okay, so it's been another 10 minutes, and I am going to go ahead and flip these and put them on the bottom rack. So, get the camera over there. Grabbing this off the top rack, flipping it, putting it on the bottom rack. And now is when I really start watching, and I kind of do the same thing with the corn. As I grab it, I flip it, put it down here on the bottom rack. Okay, so now for the final 10 minutes or so, it's, you know, give or take, whatever. I'm going to let everything sit on the bottom rack, and I've been on the lowest setting on the grill throughout the whole time. So, the lowest setting the whole time. It's been about, since I first put the potatoes on, it's been about 55 minutes, I believe. 55, 56 minutes. I moved things down to the bottom rack. I'm going to let them sit there for a little bit longer. The key is the meat. That's what I'm going to be keeping mostly the eye on. And for the most part, I keep the lid closed during that last 10 minute, still on the lowest setting possible. Here's what we're looking at. And I'm going to keep a close eye that I don't burn anything. It's pretty hard to burn the potatoes and the corn. And honestly, sometimes I've burnt the corn and it caramelizes, and that's actually pretty good when it caramelizes. So totally not worried about the corn or the potatoes, really. So just mostly the meat is setting the pace for everything right now. Okay, so it's been like an hour and 5 minutes altogether. I'm going to call this done. The meat looks pretty good. I'm going to pull the potatoes off. The potatoes, and bring them in. Just because it's easier. The potatoes will continue to cook a little bit, and they'll stay hot for a very long time. So now I try to bring in the potatoes, then it makes it easier. Next, I'm going to grab the corn here. All right, and next, corn off of here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is very hot. Don't touch that foil. There's the meat. Okay, don't touch any of that. That is so hot. That foil, no kidding, is just so hot. You cannot touch it. Absolutely not. Okay, so there it is. I pulled it all off the grill using my tongs, never to touch anything because it's super hot. And my dog is in the background really wanting to try some of the meat that I've made here. We'll see about that. But anyway, there it all is. And I think it's supper time is what I think. So there is the end result, ready to eat. Steak, potato, corn, and my dog in the background really wants to sample some. We'll see. But there it is. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.